Hello, welcome to my flow, warm-up, core, stretching, yoga, a little bit of everything series. One of the focuses of this session is going to be getting those core, deep abdominal muscles activated for the rest of the day and getting things stretched and limber so you can attack your day with gusto. Let's get started right away. You want to come to the front of your mat, plant your feet about right next to each other with a little space in between them, just a little bit, and then you can peel your toes up off the ground and spread them all back down again, nice and wide. Look down and see if your feet are straight and in alignment, and then let your knees just soften a tiny bit, just enough so you can let the kneecaps relax, let these legs relax. You can give those leg muscles a little jiggle there if you want. Take a deep breath in. Let the shoulders fall down. Now we're going to engage the pelvic floor, right? We have two sphincters in the pelvic floor, one in the back and one in the front, which make like two little tents of muscle with those as the little top part. So when we pull up those two sphincters, front and back, we're engaging that pelvic floor and giving a base to hold that pelvis in place. Breathe in, breathe out, engage that a little deeper, and let the lower abdomen come into engagement as well. Feel how that allows your shoulders to go down your back. Check that your kneecaps are still released. And we're just constantly cycling through, engaging the parts we want and releasing the parts that don't need to be active. Now we're going to bring our arms out to the side, raising them slowly up overhead. As you do this, you're going to engage these muscles right here at the top of the abs, lower ribs, to hold those ribs down. So I'm not doing this as I'm coming up. And my arms are only going as far over my head as I can without popping that rib cage out. So most of us think of yoga as open your chest, and what you're really doing right now is just crimping your back and tilting your rib cage. If you want to really open your chest, you have to keep the bottom of the rib cage down. Arms up, shoulder blades really down the back. Let's just take a moment here to do a little stretch. Lifting the arms up high to the ceiling, shoulder blades down the back, and tilting to one side. Breathing in to come back up to center, shoulder blades down the back. Breathing out to go to the other side. And arms down. Again, we're going to bend the knees just a little bit. Feel that pelvic floor engage, lower abs engage, upper abs engage. Arms out, shoulder blades right down the back. And then swan dive forward. So again, we're not arching our back here to do this. We're keeping our chest in, keeping the head coming long, arms out wide, and just hang forward for a minute. But really pulling your belly up off your thighs. Nice deep breath. Feet planted firmly on the ground, all four corners. And on the next in breath, you're going to really engage that lower abdomen, lengthen to a flat back, but you want to feel a little bit of a tuck in the chin here, so you're not lifting the head up into flat back. You're bringing the head long into flat back. If the hands are up here, that's fine, wherever's comfy for you. And then release down again. Let the head shake side to side. Let the weight of the head lengthen the neck out long. Deep breath in, peeling that pelvic floor in, abs off, deepen the stretch a little bit. Now you can bend the knees a tiny bit, drop the tailbone and curl it under to slowly roll up, deepening that ab connection. As you come up, the upper abs engage, keeping that rib cage down, arms out to the side, and up overhead, shoulder blades down, arms wide to the side, keeping that whole ab connection nice and strong. Let's do another one. Breathing in nice and deep, shoulder blades down, palms spreading, lower ribs down, pelvic floor up, coming forward into a nice swan dive forward. Coming up to flat back, just really peeling that pelvic floor in, shoulder blades down the back, abs away from the thighs, chin tucked a little bit. And then step your right leg back, nice big step back. We're going to be in a low lunge here for a minute with the knee off the ground, hands on either side of the front foot, feeling that pelvic connection, feeling that back leg grow long, shoulder blades down the back, neck long. And then drop your back knee, untuck the foot, let the top of the foot come to the floor. And just stretching into that front hip for a minute, nice and long through the back, engaged in the abs. You can even roll the hip side to side here a little bit. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And now bringing the hands up to the knee. Deep breath in, feeling all those feet and toes planted on the floor. Sinking into the front of that hip. You can even give it a little rub. And then bringing the hands down, you can straighten that front leg as much as is comfortable. If you're up here, that's fine. It's not about what position you're in, how deep you can go into the stretch. It's about what you're doing in the position. Are you feeling a nice gentle stretch? You don't want to yank too hard because the muscles will just yank back to protect themselves. Just find the place where you feel a nice stretch. Shoulder blades down the back, lower abs up and in. And let's do some ankle circles here, gentle in one direction and the other direction. Finding that nice long back, really tilting forward from the hips. Releasing fully the neck and head into this for a moment. And then bending that front knee again, hands to the top of the knee, coming back to a nice, low, deep lunge. Really stretching out the front of that hip. And then bring that knee back. If you have any shoulder issues, if chaturanga is difficult for you, you can go straight to down dog from here. Otherwise, we're going to come into a knee plank, or if you're feeling really strong, you can come to a full plank. And dropping the chest down between the hands. Make sure the hands are coming right by the boobs, not under your shoulders. You want them really down by the chest. Shoulder coming down the back, elbows into the sides, and then peeling up. We're just going to do a low cobra on this one. So we're not really even pushing through the hands. We're just pulling our abs up off the ground. Shoulder blades down the back. Now tuck the toes, push up a little more. Feel those abs really engaged to lift the heels to the ceiling into down dog. Adjusting the feet if you need to. Nice deep breath here. And now take a moment to really feel your hands spreading on the mat. Feel the ball of where that first finger meets the palm. Feel that really pushing into the ground. Feel all sides of the hand pushing in evenly. Feel the arm bones rotating outwards, but only so far as you can without popping the elbows. If you have a tendency to hyperextend, make sure to keep the front of the elbows facing towards each other. Pushing into those hands. Pushing away from the mat, into your hips, shoulder blades down the back, and bringing the gaze up towards the belly. So you never want to have your elbows coming lower You don't want to be sagging through the middle. You know, you see a lot of people doing that in class and it looks like it probably feels good, but that'll give you shoulder injuries. Nice deep connection in the lower abs. Letting those heels sink to the floor. If your legs don't straighten and you have bent knees like this, that's totally fine. What we're looking for is getting that nice, long, straight line from the wrist up to the butt. And looking forward, walk forward, hop forward, waddle forward, whatever will get you to the front of your mat. Feet together, nice, long, flat back again. Tuck the chin a little bit, shoulder blades down the back, pelvic floor pulling up and in, and now releasing the whole body to hang forward. Nice deep breath. If you have really tight hamstrings and this is really uncomfortable for you, you can always come to something that you can hold your upper body on, and you really want to focus on tilting that pelvis up and back so you're getting a stretch through the back of the legs. And now bending the knees a little bit, tucking the pelvis under, pulling those abs in to roll up, and then keeping those lower abs down, shoulder blades down, arms wide like somebody's pulling your hands out from your shoulders, and arms up overhead and back out to the sides again. Alrighty, let's do that one more time. Again, feeling the toes peel up off the floor, all four corners of the feet down into the ground, feeling the arches lifted, releasing the kneecaps, feeling the pelvic floor engage, spread the toes on the ground. Just take a minute here, feeling those feet nice and strong, pelvic floor strong, thighs relaxed. Now deepen that ab connection, bringing the lower abs in, bringing the upper abs in as the arms come up overhead, shoulder blades down the back, arms wide to swan dive forward. Come up to flat back, neck long, chin tucked, abs in. Stepping the left leg back this time. Let's take a moment in high lunge, hands on the floor, back leg very straight. Heel moving away. Shoulder blades down the back, neck long, chin a little bit tucked to open that back of the neck. Now drop the back knee. Flatten the foot out, top of the foot flat on the floor. Sink in there a moment longer, and you can rotate the hip from one side to the other side. And now bring the hands up on the knee, really sinking into the front of that hip. Really feeling your hip tilting back, tailbone under, so you really get a nice stretch through that open hip. Straighten the front leg, coming back to stretch the hamstring. Nice and long through the back, shoulder blades down the back. And some ankle circles with that front ankle one way, then the other way. Check in with those abs, check in with the shoulders, nice long neck. And now sinking totally forward, relax the head over that leg. And then coming back to your lunge, bending the front knee, shifting the weight forward. And now put the hands down to the floor on either side of the foot. Tuck the back toe under, straighten the back leg, bring the front leg back. You can drop the knees here, or you can stay in a full plank. Finding the right position, hands by the chest, elbows stay in close as you bring the body down, pull through, coming up into a high cobra. The key here is we're not collapsing in our middle and putting our neck back, right? We're keeping our abs nice and long and engaged. Shoulder blades down the back, head long. And let's just come back into all fours for a minute and then come back into this position. It's easier to find that position from all fours. And now tucking the toes under, Lifting the pelvis to the ceiling, abs nice and engaged. Pushing through the hands, ball of the fingers into the floor. Abs engaged, shoulder blades down the back. Nice wide hands. Gaze is coming to the middle. That helps keep the shoulders in the right position. And looking forward, walking forward, coming up to a flat back. Head long, neck long, and release forward. Oh, nice deep breath. Just feel that stretch for a minute. And bend the knees a little, drop the tailbone, engage the lower abdominals, pelvic floor, rolling up, arms overhead, lower ribs down, shoulder blades down, arms overhead. Arms by the sides. Okay, let's do one more. Arms out to the side, heels down, pelvic floor up, shoulder blades down, lower ribs down, arms up overhead, arms out wide by the side, swan dive forward, feet active, pelvic floor engaged, long through the top of the head, and really coming deep into this stretch for a minute. You can grab your legs if you want. You can grab your toes if you want. Just take a couple deep breaths in this position. Or you can slide your hands under the feet, just making sure your toes do not come onto your wrists. And bringing your feet out, coming into a nice long flat back, shoulder blade down the back, neck long, abs in, stepping both feet back, drop the knees if you want to, and lowering down, coming up and through, tuck the toes, down dog, abs really in. Nice deep breaths, gaze to the middle, hands even, pushing into that ball of the first finger, pushing into the floor, pushing the hips back over the heels. And looking forward, stepping forward, we're just going to come down to a sit and roll onto our backs nice and gently. And just take a moment here. Give the hips a little shake, give the head a little shake, give the legs a little shake. Feel the little leg muscles flapping around. Make sure everything's relaxed. Take a nice breath into the abdomen, feeling it spread, the hands apart. And as you breathe out, engage that lower ab muscles. Feel the pelvic floor pulling in. Slight tuck in the lower back. Slightly imprinted, as they call it, but you're not flattening the lower back against the floor. Just a nice little tuck, shoulders open. You can let the arms fall out to the side. You want your breath to come into the side of the ribs, not up here in the top in the neck where you'll create neck tension. And breathe in. As you breathe out, you're going to really deepen those abs. Point your toe, rolling that leg up off the floor into tabletop position. So your front part of your leg is parallel to the floor. Deepen those abs again to do the same thing with the other leg. Nice deep breath in, breathe out, deepening the abs, opening the shoulders wide against the floor, neck relaxed. Make sure you're not tilting the chin up to the sky. Imagine you're holding a little, gentle little chick under your chin. You don't want to squish it, but you don't want to let it out. And now we can really deepen those abs and flatten the lower back against the floor so the knees come forward. And then lightly release. This is a very small movement. And this is safe for all kinds of abdominal situations. This is safe for an umbilical hernia. This is safe for diastasis recti. And just deepening those abs. So you are not moving the legs to move the knees. You are just tilting the hips towards the nose, flattening the lower back. And if you start to feel any tension in the lower back, bring the knees in a little closer. And now leaving one knee in, you're going to straighten the other one out. Breath in, switch. Breath in, switch. Breath in, switch. Again, keeping this knee coming far enough forward that you're not putting any tension in the lower back. Going at your own pace, deepening those abs towards the floor. And now hugging those knees into the chest. You can bring the knees wide up to the armpits for a minute. Shoulders down to the ground. Putting the arms on the inside of the knees. Stretching them, pressing them out towards the floor, getting a nice inner thigh stretch. And now, gently one at a time, one leg down to the floor, foot flat on the floor. Other leg down, foot flat on the floor. Finding a nice neutral position again, arms by the side. Breathe in. As you breathe out, engage the pelvic floor, engage the lower abs, engage the upper abs. Feel all your ribs on the floor. Another sip of air into those back ribs. And as you breathe out, float the arms up overhead towards the ceiling. And now reach towards the ceiling, peeling the shoulder blades off the back as much as possible. And with the out breath, dropping the shoulders to the ground, but leaving the arms straight. Peeling the shoulders towards the ceiling, shoulders back to the ground. Now keeping the shoulders in that position, deepening the ab connection to bring the arms up overhead towards the wall behind our heads, but only as far as you can go without letting those ribs come up, feeling all the ribs against the ground, upper abs really working to keep that rib cage down. And the arms can just hang off those ab muscles. You might feel a little stretch in the shoulder blade area. And now bring the arms wide out to the sides. Nice circle around, but really keeping those shoulder blades down the back, lower ribs engaged. A nice circle till the arms are down by the sides. Again, we're going to breathe in, breathe out, deepen that ab connection, raise the arms up towards the ceiling. Feel those shoulder blades heavy into the ground. And now bringing the hands to the chest like you're Superman, pulling your shirt wide open, opening the arms to the side, keeping those shoulder blades down. Noticing if your neck wants to get in on the action, if your legs want to tense up. And now bringing the arms together in front of the chest like you're hugging a big beach ball. And one more Superman, ripping that shirt open. Now we're going to bring one knee into the chest, bring the other knee into the chest, and drop both of the knees to one side. You can have your head on your arm here or just on the floor. You can bring, if you want, your bottom hand to the top knee to really keep those knees stacked. Knees stacked, feet stacked, hips stacked. Top arm comes into a little bit of a ballet arm, shoulder blade down the back. Elbow coming a little higher than the shoulder and the wrist if we were standing up higher. Breath in, and as you breathe out, open into a side twist, just coming nice and gently into this. You don't want to force it. Letting the arm come out all the way and getting a nice stretch through those pec muscles. And deepening into the lower back. Breathing deep. can move the arm around here, playing with the angles, feeling what feels good, really letting that shoulder blade sink down the back towards the spine and the hip. And then coming back to center and pulling the knees up into the chest. And we're going to do the other side, really stacking the knees, stacking the hips. Bring the arm in front of the body, shoulder down, abs active, elbow up, and opening out to the side, stretching that arm long, letting it just hang off the body, really making sure to keep those knees stacked. So if you go like this, you're not going to get much of a stretch. But if you keep that pelvis upright, pointing towards the ceiling, and those knees stacked on top of each other, feet on top of each other, you get a nice stretch through the back and through the chest muscles. And just moving the arm around, getting all those different angles of the pec, the chest muscle, feeling a light engagement in the abs. Deep breath in, deep in that stretch. And then bringing the legs up to center so you're back on your back. Now you're going to let one ankle come over the other knee and pull that into your chest. Make a nice stretch to those glutes. Deep breath in. And you want to, as much as possible, try to keep your foreleg parallel to your body and the floor. So pulling in like this isn't going to do much for you. If you need to grab your heel and push your knee away, you can do that to really get that nice angle in. You can put your hands through and grab your other leg, whatever works for your body dimensions and proportions. And now pushing the heels sideways towards the wall next to you, so you're getting a little stretch on the outside of the hip. And coming back to center, deepening that stretch. And let's switch legs. Again, taking a moment to really find that nice parallel position with the leg, pushing the knee away, letting the shoulders drop into the floor, neck relax, head relax, collarbones relaxed. Pulling that leg in to give it a nice stretch. And now peeling that heel across the body towards the wall. A nice stretch in the outside of the hip. Come back to center. Pull that leg in. And now drop your knee. And you can straighten that leg up to the ceiling. Wherever you can grab on the back of the leg is fine. If you can't straighten it, that's fine too. And just doing some nice ankle circles, light engagement in the abs and pelvic floor, face relaxed, shoulder blades relaxed. Nice circles with the foot and circles the other way. And now each time you circle, as the toes come towards the face, the heel's gonna stretch more towards the ceiling, lengthening that leg. And going the other way, lengthening through the heel towards the ceiling and sinking that leg towards the face. Now reaching with the opposite arm across the leg to grab the outside of the foot. You can just let the same arm as your leg fall down and stretch that leg across the body. You can tilt the outside of the foot away from the ankle, getting a nice stretch down the outside of the leg. Now switching hands, so you're bringing your other arm to the inside and stretching out to the side. You can let your opposite knee fall open to counterbalance, shoulder blades down the back. Again, if you're just holding your leg right here, that's fine. Whatever feels like a good, yummy stretch to you. Nice deep breath, shoulder blades relaxed, abs engaged, lower ribs down, and coming up to center. We can let that leg fall to the floor. Let's bring the other knee in, straighten the leg to the ceiling. Nice ankle circles, shoulder blades down, abs released. Circle the other way. And now every time that toe comes forward, that heel reaches towards the ceiling. Toe forward, heel reaching and circling in the other direction. Toe forward, heel reaching, shoulder blades down. Letting the weight of your arms just pull that leg towards your face. Now taking the opposite arm across to the outside of the leg and bringing that leg across the body. And really tilting the outside of the foot up towards the corner of the room. Peeling it open away from the ankle. This stretch may not feel all that great. Just do what you can. Breathe through it. You're stretching a lot of nerve and connective tissue in this stretch, which can have kind of a zingy, pingy, ouchy feeling. Switching arms to the other side, to the inside of the leg. Nice deep breath, letting that leg fall open, shoulder blades down the back. And leg back to center. And down to the floor. Now, you can bring one knee in, grab your ankle, roll to your side, and you'll be in a nice quad stretch. Just stretching that knee behind. So you don't want to be up in the air. You want to have that knee nice down in front of the chest, shoulder blade really coming down the back, abs lightly engaged, and pulling that heel to your butt. Letting the bottom leg move where it needs to support you. And then feeling that knee even move a little behind your hips, getting a nice stretch through the front of the leg and hip. Coming back to center, grab the other ankle and roll to the other side. Dropping that knee, shoulder blade down the back, abs engaged, tilting the tailbone under a little so you can really pull that heel back towards the butt. Nice stretch. Good. And rolling to your side, coming up to sitting. Let's bring the feet together in front of the body and holding on to the legs so you can pull forward. It's not about trying to pull your chest. It's really about trying to pull those hips forward. So from the side, you can see that I'm not arched like this. I'm using that traction to roll my hips forward and then bring my body hinging off those hips. You can hold the feet, you can hold the legs, you can use the elbows to push the legs down if you want. Really feeling shoulder blades down the back, abs engaged, hips forward. And then you can just release the upper body. Nice, gentle but deep stretch. Nice deep breaths. And coming back up to center. Let's bring the legs nice and wide in a straddle. This is, if you're here, that's fine. If you need to sit up on a block to do this, that's fine, or on your roller, whatever feels comfy. If you're more comfortable with one leg bent in, that's fine too. I'm going to start just by, again, really trying to roll those hips forward. I'm putting my hands down and giving a little traction on the floor so my shoulder blades come down the back. Pelvic floor engaged, hips rolling forward, and letting the whole body roll forward. You can walk the arms out if you want, but always making sure to peel those shoulder blades down the back. Coming back up to center, we're going to go to the side now. So right from the middle, bring one arm up overhead, shoulder blades really down the back, and then tilting the whole body sideways. You can use this front arm to twist the body open a little more. Nice breath into the chest, shoulder blades down the back, abs strong, hips both connected to the floor. Deep breath in, deepening the stretch. And coming up, switching the arms. Take a moment to plug those shoulder blades down, hips even, neck long. Breathe in and then breathe out to come over. Use that front arm to twist the body open. Look up to the ceiling, neck long, abs engaged. Hips even, shoulder blade down the back. Sinking into that stretch. Nice deep breath. And rolling through center again. Thank you very much. I hope you've all enjoyed this class. You can always join me for live classes. Check out the info on the About, and you can check me out on Facebook at Sparrow Healing. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell button to get notifications about when I post, and please hit that like button. Have a great, wonderful, aligned, and happy day.